Lil Boosie and Vlad debate if Nas is relevant or just legendary. What up, world? Your boy Charles Brown back again, talking facts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. So I just watched a video on Vlad TV. Shout out to Boosie, shout out to Vlad TV, and I just want to react to it. Basically, it's basically talking about if Nas is relevant or just a legend, as if one of those means more than the other. And I want to react to it. I'm going to read the article and I'm going to have a conversation because this is what I do over here on Talking Facts. Article reads as such. In this clip, Vlad spoke about 21 Savage, saying that Nas isn't relevant, but he has a loyal fan base and he makes good music, which 21 later clarified wasn't a diss. Boosie pointed out that Nas won a Grammy last year and his music is doing great. And Boosie also stated that 21 Savage might be speaking about relevance on social media. Vlad then explained that in the rap world, relevance is misconstrued with legendary, and Vlad stated that no one is debating whether Nas is legendary. Vlad explained what he thinks makes an artist dead, and Boosie went on to point out that a lot of people who came up with Nas are no longer alive. He's meaning in his neighborhood and stuff like that, in the city and around the world. People pushing 50s or more. Quite a few of us have passed away. I'm gonna be honest with you, different reasons. Boosie then added that Nas doesn't have a machine behind him like Taylor Swift, and Boosie stated that a lot of artists aren't selling 30,000 in their first week. I want to add on to that because Vlad interjected, saying in Vlad's own way that Nas is his favorite artist in the world. Illmatic is one of his favorite albums at all times. And I want to touch on this. Let me just be honest with you. A person saying somebody's their favorite artist and they're naming their first album that came out 30 years ago, that's not your favorite artist. I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna need people to stop doing that. Right? I'm gonna need you to stop saying that. Jay-Z, my favorite artist. Reasonable Doubt is one of the best. As soon as you say that, that means you don't listen to him no more. Right? If you're going back to Illmatic as to say why you're a big Nas fan, then you're probably not a Nas fan. Nas just put out 4 albums in a row that are classics. Why you would need to reach back to Illmatic says you're not paying attention. And I also noticed that Vlad did not know that Nas is no longer on Def Jam. Nas has not been on Def Jam in years. Nas has his own label. It's called Mass Appeal Records. Nas puts his own music out, right? I'm not sure who he's distributed by, but he's not on Def Jam. Let's say that, okay? So, what I'm learning about Vlad has little things about certain rappers who didn't do interviews with him, or for whatever reason he has a problem with certain rappers, and that's okay. We're not going to tell you who you need to like and who you don't need to like. But this thing that Vlad has had with Nas has been going on for at least 7 years, where he feels he has to keep clarifying. Every time something happens with Nas, he needs to clarify that Nas picks bad beats and Nas doesn't do this, doesn't do that. It's always something, which is whatever, right? Nas is going to get criticized because Nas is considered one of the greatest MCs ever in history, and he can handle criticism. He just laughed at the 21 Savage situation where 21 Savage said he was irrelevant. And now, I want to say I've never seen Boosie be the smartest one in the room in any conversation. Boosie makes a lot of sense every time he talks, right? I watch almost every Boosie interview. But in this situation, Boosie actually had more competent points than Vlad. For one, he said, Vlad, Taylor Swift has a machine behind her. She has a whole machine behind her. So if you're talking about Taylor Swift is completely relevant, and I want to tell you, this was frustrating, bro. The fact that we keep talking about every single time you got to bring up Drake. Why do we need to keep saying Drake sold 450? Drake is a pop star. Drake sings on every record he drops. Every album, he will sing on half of the album. He is a pop star. That's like saying LL Cool J can't beat Michael Jackson. Why do you keep bringing up Drake numbers? Bring up all the other rappers who can't break 30, who are doing 35, right? Bring those rappers up. Because Drake is not the end all be all of rap. Let's just be honest. We have a good 150 releases throughout the course of the year. Drake is not the only release, bruh. I hate to break it to you. When you're making an argument about rap and about Nas, who just sold 30,000 units, and you say, but look at what Drake did. Drake is a pop star, bruh. I hate to break it to you. Drake is a pop star. I'm just curious as to why that's not being spoken about. Nas is not writing pop music. If Nas was making pop records and he couldn't compete with Drake, then your argument is proven. Nas making hip hop, bruh. Please compare him to somebody who is making hip hop. I'm going to wait for you to give me a hip hop artist bigger than Nas. He not doing pop music. He not doing pop rap. He not trying to make hits. He's making good hip hop. I need you to give me a list, right? And I did it on let me see my thing if I got it open yet. So what I did was I went and put a couple numbers together, right? I put some numbers together, and I just want to talk about it because we keep talking about this relevance thing, right? And we keep bringing up Drake, and it's just like Drake. Okay, let's talk about it. Outside of Drake, who's a pop star, I'm going to talk about other rappers. Can we deal with that? And sales ain't all about relevance. But let me just talk to you. Nas sold 30K in his first week. NBA Youngboy last record sold 39,000. Is he relevant? I don't know. Is NBA Youngboy relevant? Let me know. Kodak Black sold 39,000 as well. Is he relevant? Nas did 30. Kodak Black did 39, right? He didn't do 450,000. He did 39. This is what they're not telling you. This is what they're not talking about. They keep comparing Nas to Drake, who's a pop star, right? Roddy Ricch just did 35K on his first week. Is Roddy Ricch relevant? I'm just curious. Let me know who's relevant besides Lil Baby. Lil Baby did big numbers. Yes, he did big numbers. So you got Drake and Lil Baby. Who else? Who else do you need to talk about to make this relevance argument? Rod Wave did 33. Nas did 30. Rod Wave did 33. Right? Saweetie did 2,000 units. This chick has millions of followers, and she literally only sold 2,000 copies of her album. Saweetie. Young Blue sold 15,000. Listen to what I'm telling you. Young Blue, who is young, who is relevant, sold 15,000 units. Nas doubled that. The Black Panther soundtrack did 28,000. Glorilla did 29,000. Glorilla, who is arguably way hotter than Nas if you're talking about relevancy. Right? That's Glorilla. Baby Keem, Kendrick Lamar's cousin, did 35,000 units. Nas did 30. What are we talking about? I need Vlad to understand. You're measuring Nas to the biggest pop star in the world. Every time you try to dismantle what this man is doing by throwing Drake out there. Last I checked, I believe Nas had on his Twitter, let me look it up. I believe Nas had, I want to be sure, but I'm almost 100% he had millions of Twitter followers. And Nas just eating it up. Because the simple fact, all this does is bring his relevancy even higher. Nas on Twitter has 2.4 million followers. Okay? Nas has 2.4 million followers on Twitter. Nas has more followers on Twitter than DJ Academics. DJ Academics has 1.3 million followers on Twitter. Let me see what Vlad has, right? And I don't have no problem with Vlad, but I need these things to be said when somebody's gonna represent the culture that I'm in. Vlad on Twitter has 182,000 followers. Nas has 2.4 million. I can go look up every rapper on that list, and I'm sure Nas is right there with them with their followers. But we keep going on and on about Drake. What Drake and 21 Savage sold, what Drake and we keep going on as if that's the bar. Everybody's talking about King's Disease 3. I'm sorry, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I know you want it to not be that, but it is. Right? They're talking more about Nas than Drake right now. I promise you. Do the algorithm. Do what you do with these internet. When you look at what's popping on the internet, I guarantee you, Nas is at a very high level. I don't even need you to tell me that it is to know that. Because every day up and down my feed is Nas, Nas, Nas. All day, every day. They start talking about 21 Savage because he talked about Nas. Nobody wasn't talking about that album no more. Her Loss is getting played by the kids that want to hear it. They're not talking about it no more. It's still selling because it's a pop record. It's selling in China. It's selling everywhere, bruh. He's not making pop. What's the other thing? I had another thing I wanted to address before I got out of here. Because I just, it's so goofy, right? To still have to be talking about this as if somehow, some way, it's going to make it right because you keep saying that he didn't do the numbers that Drake did. It's goofy to me, and it makes me irritated because I'm here for my culture. And if you're not going to rep it right, then don't rep it. Say what you need to say right. You're talking about Taylor Swift and Drake in a Nas conversation. Ain't none of these rappers rocking with Nas, not one of them. He ain't got not one feature on that album. And you still talking about it. He got 2.4 million followers on Twitter, and you still talking about it. You still trying desperately to cling to this image that Nas is irrelevant. And your whole thing is going to keep bringing up the numbers. But somehow, every time you bring it up, people come and try to say, oh my God, you're dead wrong. There was one more situation that I want to discuss about this. Let me get back to the article. And then I'm going to get out of here and let you go about your life. Whoever tuned in, right? "21 said it wasn't a diss, but it absolutely was a diss if you're looking at it from my thing. They're debating whether Nas is legendary. Legendary, what does that mean? And Vlad had the analogy that Rolling Stones tour sell out every year. Everywhere they go, they sell out. But if they came out with a new album, that people wouldn't really care. There is no difference between relevancy and legendary. Because the simple fact of what you just said, if they do a tour, it will sell out. I'm going to say it again. If they do a tour, it will sell out. If they do a tour, people will buy tickets in advance and sell out the tour. I don't know another way to say something is relevant than if you can do a tour and sell it out. You just saw Cameron, Mace, and who was it? Cameron, Mace, and Styles P try to do the Three-Headed Monster tour. We just saw it. They tried to do about 6 arenas, if I'm not mistaken, within a month time. And the tour did not go 30 days of promotion before they canceled the entire tour. Right? You just saw Nas go on tour with Wu-Tang, and it did not get canceled. But I'll even do you one better. Boosie said that it may have been that 21 Savage meant that he was not relevant on social media. And if you are looking at it that way, that is, you could say that. But can I tell you why he's not relevant on social media? He's not on there. He's not on there like 50 trolling every single thing that happens. 50 is the most relevant person on social media, but couldn't sell a record, right? I'm just being honest with you. Ain't nothing wrong. Just salute to 50 doing his thing. But 50 got mad followers on social media. Every day he's trolling. He's doing this and that because he wants to be relevant in that space. Look at Saweetie. I just told you, Saweetie just sold 2,000 records. This chick got millions of followers. They made a McDonald's Happy Meal in Saweetie's name, just like they did for Travis Scott. Saweetie had a meal in McDonald's, bruh, and can't move 2,000 records. Before I get out here, I'm gonna say this: relevant on social media is one thing, right? I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. But what really matters in real life when it comes to hip hop? If you are considered legendary, and if you can still get people to come out and see you in them shows, that's really all that matters. Your reputation and your staying power. That's it. They're trying to bring it up. They're trying to chalk it up to what he sold on this one album. It's deeper than that. Nas get way more love than all of that. And that's why people are so adamant and staunch about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. CLBMG. Go down in the comments. Also, we got pinned up the CLBMG gear, merchandise. Go check it out. We got some dope stuff over there. The hats, the hoodies, all that good stuff like that. CLBMG.com. Go check that out. Every Wednesday night, Clash the podcast, the rap podcast. We talk about rap right on my Facebook page. We go live for about 2 hours or more, and we talk about everything. Me, Dante, TJ, and Fliz, we get it in. We have a good time. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, share the video. I'm going to catch you on the flip side. Peace.
CLB.